International event. I'd already put in an order, ready to go, announced it. My order from the manufacturer didn't show up. I had 6 samples and 4 of them were the wrong texture. Everybody who bought that day had to buy off their phone because I didn't even have POS set up yet. I had nothing set up. That first Shopify cha-ching that came through was like heaven. The dopamine will never be the same. We had gone up and up and up since Black Friday. We dropped down to a third and I couldn't figure out why. It was a shock. It's a catch-22 of no one wants to feel like they're not doing well or everything they're working really hard at is not performing still because of them, but you need to know if you want to do better. Would you say people are paralysed by that fear of not knowing their numbers, that they restrict their own business?
I would say.
I'm Karla and my business is Snack It. So we make reusable silicone pouches for athletes, initially designed for athletes, but now loved by everyone. It's got embedded magnets so it can hold on to your pocket. So if you're running or riding or whatever you're doing, it's hanging on to your pocket. And then we have this soft silicone inside so you can fill it up full of whatever you want to fill it up with. So dates, lollies, jerky, medication, anything you can take with you without it getting all sweaty and salty in your back pocket.
That's awesome. That's a good pitch. And how'd you come up with the idea?
I'm a cyclist and I love to take whole food. I got sick of gels and I just wanted to take crunchy pretzels and that sort of thing when I was riding. And sandwich bags just didn't do the job. Squished them,
Melted.
broke them up. Too hard to open.
Yeah,
all
too
those
hard
other
to go
things.
Open is definitely one.
So like most things, you look for something that will do the job, and when you can't find it, you're stuck at a crossways of deciding if you're going to be that person, or if you're just going to leave it on the side of the road and wait to see it from somebody else. But that's happened to me before too, so this was my chance.
I've obviously helped you a little bit through Daily Mentor, but what people don't know is you've actually helped me a little bit with my cycling journey because it kind of aligned perfectly when I was just like, hey, I'm going to do an Ironman. So I get a bike, I have no idea. And then I'm just like, you're teaching me how to learn to ride a bike. I'm teaching you e-commerce. That was kind of funny. I didn't tell you though, I just did my half Ironman and I almost died because I'd never gone through an aid station before.
Right.
So then I had to grab the water bottle and I was like, okay, what do I do with it now? Because all my water bottle holders were taken. So I was going probably 30 k's an hour, tried to throw it. It's hit my top aero bars and I just like swerved. And this poor girl, she's like super reactive, dodged me and I almost died. So if I had one of these, maybe I wouldn't need the actual carbs in a bottle and I could have actually saved myself. But it does show like even the smallest movements is like literally a safety risk during cycling. So it does make sense to make it very convenient. So when you had the idea, how did you bring this product that we can see to life? Was it a long process?
After having the idea and then doing the research, there is a moment of deciding how long it's going to take to get it to life. So it was a bit of a process that nobody really tells you how to do. It's not something you learn at school. So trying to figure out how to do it was a challenge, which just started as easily as Googling people who had created a product before.
Yeah.
So I had a friend who just said to me, you just need somebody who has made something to help you. So the start of the story was sending cold emails to people that I Googled. There was like, I'm in Brisbane, so it was Brisbane inventors that have won awards.
That's so cool.
And it came up with a list of people and I sent them all cold emails to say, I'm creating a product. It's not in your space. Can I have half an hour Teams meeting? I'll meet you for coffee. I'd love to know how you got from an idea to a product.
Yeah.
And I met one person who was great and he said, do this, don't worry about this, blah, 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 blah. And it just led me down the road to creating a product.
That's so great.
Yeah.
So you're just trying to find the people that know what they're doing.
I learned very early on that making connections with people, going out in the world, talking to people that is very uncomfortable to do, can lead to bigger doors, finding out more, educating yourself in a way that you will never be able to do just sitting in front of the computer.
Yeah, it's definitely the thing that I'd recommend for most people. It just bypasses a lot of pain. You know, it's just like if you're communicating with your supplier or like finding a supplier through, you watch the YouTube video, you need to go to Alibaba. Now you're communicating with your supplier and you're asking them for advice. They're clearly biased. They're clearly going to give you advice that serves them, and they may honestly believe it. Whereas if you can find an unbiased party that truly just wants you to succeed, it does fast track it. One of the main things that I recommend there is trying to position the outreach in a way that shows that they can also have value. Like I obviously get hundreds of messages. I would love to respond to them. I just can't. But the ones that are like, I'm really unique in this situation because of this is my situation. And it's not always the sob story. Sometimes, honestly, they are so compelling that I do need to help because they are in such a bad situation. But some of them are like, I'm a kid, I've growth hacked this Instagram, or like I'm a world-class athlete. Like this is why you should help me. And then I learn a little bit from them as well. I'm not sure if you did that in any way. I'm not sure how you even got this person to reach out. Maybe it was just a volume approach.
Yeah, I think that particular person was just knew how hard it was. He lived in under his sister's house for 3 years developing a product. Yeah. He wanted to let me know straight up, this is going to cost a lot of time. It's going to cost a lot of money. If you really want to do it, like there will be people who will support you. You've just got to be all in on it. And that half an hour coffee like pretty much kickstarted me into believing that, okay, I can definitely do this.
Isn't that awesome? That's a great story. So next step, how did you get the actual sample? Did you go into a sampling stage?
Yep. So I ended up finding a product designer, and they were the people who put my idea into an item and helped me find a manufacturer who would give me a sample. So that was a really great hack as well to cut out a lot of learning in finding somebody who was already in the space. And that was something worth paying for because it shortcut a lot of problems.
Yep.
And also de-risked a lot of the situation as well. So that was really great. So got samples. Some really bad samples. It actually started with 3D printed samples. So very, very rough items.
Which is okay to start with, right? It gives you an idea. Is this even feasible?
Yeah, that's right. It helped me figure out if we were going to have flaps, if we were going to connect it, should we put magnets in it? Should it be just what sort of sizing it should be? So the 3D print, which is available so readily now, was a really good way to figure out a lot of the very expensive structural parts of the product. And then once we started getting samples back, it was like, okay, this is costly, so we really have to know what we want to change almost to the millimeter, almost to the exact color. And the 3D really helped with that part.
Can you remember, if you're open to speaking about it, I think you are because we kind of covered it in our YouTube documentary, that stuff's expensive. Doing this right, and you have an incredibly beautiful product, like across from the branding to the product execution to even the IP protection that you have on it. All of this stuff costs a lot of money. And there are people that will be watching this that just don't have that. What's your kind of main take on like what was really worth investing in the early stages to get some level of protection, whether it just be a really good product? What was worth investing in these early stages of product development?
Definitely the first part is getting the quality product to get the market validation because it didn't exist before. And my next competitive item is a plastic bag, which is so far away from it. So getting the product to an excellent quality was worth all the money first. Yeah. And then yes, IP, but that it could wait.
Could come later, yeah. And those costs, for anyone watching, can probably use AI to start figuring out, put in the product brief. It's just like, what actual designers do I need? Do I need industrial designers? Do I need electrical engineers? Like all of that kind of stuff. But like, where does the cost sit within that? Is it the product designer? Is it the sampling process, the initial one through the factory? Is it just the first order? Can you remember where most of the cost lied? It might have been a while ago.
It was a while ago, but definitely the first part, I would say the product designer was the most expensive part out of that whole section because they also had the 3D print. So that was an extra part of that. And just that upfront, getting it from that idea to the initial 3D print was the most expensive
Yeah. When did you start selling it?
So April, not this year, last year. So April 2025.
Gotcha. So about a year.
Yeah. So we've been in the market for a year, and it was 2 years before that.
So you started working on it 3 years ago?
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So big development process.
Yeah. So it was 18 months even before we got a sample from a manufacturer.
Yeah. Do you think you spent too long in the development process? It's a bit of a loaded question because it was impossible not to, right? You had to learn.
It could only go as fast as it did.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I also discovered nothing goes as fast as you want it to because you're relying on other people. So manufacturers take longer. I wasn't the only client for the industrial designer. There's things like that also is something really important for everybody to understand, that things don't always move in the time frame you want them to.
Yeah. Of course. So how did launching the business go? How did you get your first sale?
So we had a grand idea and by we I mean me, I had this great idea to launch at a international event that was happening here in Brisbane. So we had World Cycling Championships. It was a qualifying race here in Brisbane called Tour de Brisbane. And I was like, I'm going to get a stall. We're going to launch. All our product will be here in time. I'd already put in an order, ready to go, announced it. And it didn't show up on time. My order from the manufacturer didn't show up. I had 6 samples and 4 of them were the wrong texture. They were part of the texture samples. And so I turned it into a brand awareness stall as opposed to a sales stall, but it still did pre-sale. So everybody who bought that day had to buy off their phone because I didn't even have POS set up yet. I had nothing set up. So it was a good sales skill because I had to stand next to every single customer and walk them through purchasing off my website on their own phone from showing them a sample on there. And that product didn't come in till June. Okay. When I fulfilled everything, it sold out very quickly. And then it was a backlog of pre-sales for the next 2 orders. Yep. And now I'm in front of it. So
now you're finally in front of it. Well, thank you to all of those customers that were willing to be so patient. Thank you to my Oodie customers that were also willing to be patient because, those early patient orders are definitely needed. I guess that's a pretty common story. So you're just hustling, selling at stalls all the time or?
Yeah, so I did put up I had an email list going out first before that event for people to sign up to our email. Mm-hmm. And I did launch to those people the week before to say you can have first dibs on purchase. And that first Shopify cha-ching that came through was like heaven. Screenshot, yep. Everyone, I'll buy Macca's for dinner or, dinner's on me, everybody. And we had it was a pretty, I don't know, the dopamine will never be the same from that first cha-ching. So I did the email list and then had the event, and then it was just promote, start looking at advertising, start figuring out how am I going to let more people know about this, because it might be my whole world, but it doesn't mean anybody really knows about it. And the more I talk to people, the more I realize that.
What's the biggest thing that you did to start promote in your words, like online?
So for my journey, I got an agency to start with because I didn't know anything. So I just tried to outsource as much information as possible, not believing that I could learn it so early on because I felt like I didn't know anything. So I engaged in an agency to help me start with my Facebook ads.
Facebook ads? How'd that go?
So they were great in alleviating the anxiety of how initially to run it. And a big part of what I wanted to do was learn alongside with them so I could learn, but I still didn't feel like I knew as much as they knew.
Yeah, it's a good strategy. There's nothing wrong, especially if you're investing like over $50,000 in a product. Why can't we just spend another $10,000 in agency costs, $20,000 in agency costs to accelerate our learning? The problem is when it doesn't accelerate our learning or they are incrementally on a unit economic basis unprofitable. What that looks like is being unprofitable on a month to month. So I think that's, we can maybe chat about our story a little bit. To anyone that hasn't seen the video that we did together on my main channel, we came in, you signed up to Daily Mentor.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you join Daily Mentor, by the way? What stage was that?
So I joined Daily Mentor just before Black Friday sales in last year, 2025. I had seen the Daily Mentor ads on Facebook and thought this could really help me learn and understand and develop the business further, because I knew that I had to take more things in my own control. So I reached out because I knew I needed to learn more, and I got on just before Black Friday, which was perfect timing because it was able to then work that campaign almost individually, and that was a good leapfrog, I suppose.
So you joined and then you had a very clear purpose. It's like, how do we drive more revenue? How did that go? What was your first kind of month or 2 months like?
So it was really great because there was practical. I literally asked one of the mentors, I think it was Morgan at the time, said, I haven't planned anything for Black Friday. It's in a week and a half. If I'm going to do anything, like give me your top 3 things that I need to set up right now. And unlike any other coaching process or educational process I've been through before for business, he actually gave me like 3 actionable steps, not just general ideas of what would be a good idea. It was like email list, set up ads, get your flows in order. Like it was fabulous. So I did those 3 things, launched Black Friday. We had our biggest month ever and I had stock. So
that's good.
So that was good. And biggest month ever leading up to Christmas. And so I saw that straight away, that just by asking that last 30 seconds at the end of a call, if there was anything I should do, what would be the 3 things? Done. It was, and actually doing them was the next part.
Yeah, of course. you got to do that. You got to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And then we saw that my YouTube team were just like wanting to get a bit more hands-on and document the process. And I think that's where we started talking a little bit more. Obviously, we had some mentoring calls before that. And then what happened next? We reached out to you guys to come fly over to Brisbane, learn a little bit more about the business. Is that right?
Yeah. So you reached out to say, looks like Snackit's going okay, which is great. Or is it?
Is it going
or
okay?
is it?
Yeah.
And coincidentally, we had dropped 30%. We dropped to 30% of our month, like our
Black Friday month.
Or even over Christmas. So we had gone up and up and up since Black Friday. And the month that you messaged, we dropped down to a third, and I couldn't figure out why.
Yeah.
And it was something we were working out. I was trying to work out with my agency, and they couldn't figure out why. And it was this whole thing. So it was really great timing to then be like, okay, I thought I needed help with operations because things were going so well, but actually everything's fallen through the floor. So thank God you're here.
Yeah, thank God you're here. I love that. Yeah, it was interesting. So we flew over, got to know a little bit more about the business, tested out the product. I think we diagnosed the 3 main issues as a content piece. There just wasn't enough volume of content.
Yep.
It was a bit of a offer website kind of piece as well. But more importantly, there was this kind of lack of financial clarity, I think, within the business. I'm not sure if you'd say that's fair to say, that we broke down using AI to just see every single line item expense that you had, as well as the gross margin of the products. Can you remember that process and how that made you feel? Was it good? Was it bad? Like run me through it.
It was a shock.
Yeah.
It's a catch-22 of no one wants to feel like they're not doing well, or everything they're working really hard at is not performing still because of them. But you need to know if you want to do better.
Yeah.
So it was great to know functionally what parts of my website were not working. So because that's a fix, an easy fix. Well, mostly easy fix if you know what you're doing, which is part of the whole Daily Mentor process. From the finances point of view, that was another thing, a bit like advertising, where I just put it off to somebody with skills and kind of forgot about it. But that was a wake-up call of actually I really need to be more hands-on here. And I'd fallen into the trap like a lot of early entrepreneurs where you just hope the accountant's taking care of it. But it was too late in time frame. So I really needed to be on top of that earlier. And that got me into different processes now where I'm actually on top of that on a more regular basis, looking at daily profit, those sorts of things, so that I don't get stuck in that trap again. And so good to learn that this early.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I must say you have learned it earlier than I did. I was having $1 million sale months where I wasn't accounting for GST correctly. When I was in the early days, I had a CFO. They probably should have taught me it. Look, I wouldn't take responsibility. I should have known it. And then, $1 million sale month, no profit because it's all going to sales tax. I just wasn't accounting for it properly.
Oh dear.
So look, I would much rather do it at, I don't know, $10,000 to $50,000 months rather than $1 million month.
Yeah.
And you know, it's why I used to be so insecure about even telling people that story. But trust me, I've sat with 9-figure, like $100 million entrepreneurs that they did the exact same thing multiple times. It's like almost like a rite of passage, learning the finance side of things, unless you come through that path. Well, I just have really, really good advisors early. It just, you just got to pay the tax once, like the price once of that lesson. And I think you learn it at a really good time.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Look, and you probably will make a financial mistake again. Like you'll overcapitalize in inventory. Like that's another issue itself. So these things there, you're just trying to learn as quickly as possible and just minimize existential risk. Existential risk being the thing that zeroes you out forever. You know, that didn't zero you out forever because you caught it. You didn't stuff up any tax things. You had the accountants in place, but you just could have ran for a whole year unprofitable and then not had the money to finance. That could have been an existential risk, but you caught it.
Would you say people are paralyzed by that fear of not knowing their numbers, that they restrict their own business?
I would say nobody knows their numbers. I would say it's the complete opposite. People are not scared enough about them not having the right financials or the right financial controls or guidance. Like people are so scared about a competitor entering the market and they're like, oh my God, like this person started advertising, and it's just like, you are literally not paying tax correctly, or you are literally not even profitable on every single unit you are selling. And in 6 months, you're going to realize it and you're going to have $0. And then what happens? Because when you're unprofitable and you don't know it, and then that happens, you can't go to a bank and go, hey, please, can I have some money? It's like, no, you clearly don't even know how to run a business. And then you can't go to an investor and go, they're going to be like, no, you're unprofitable. How would I even value this company? Existential risk.
Right.
Yeah. So I think you would have caught it. I must say that you were looking at your financials of your business. You did have all the pillars, like you were further than most people would have again. Like you had a good accountant looking at it and things were reconciled to the point where my AI could go in and actually break everything down, which is some people I've had, 8-figure businesses, they're still on spreadsheets. They don't even have an accounting software, which is just absurd. So look, there's all these spectrums, but I'd say in terms of, I don't think I could push enough fear of like one, getting a really good finance person that understands your local tax laws. So if you're in Australia, get an Australian accountant, probably that even understands your niche. It shouldn't be like that, but truthfully, they should understand e-commerce, not niche, but business model. And then they understand actually how to set all of that up and then communicating to you monthly. Not every 6 months, they're just going to send you a report that's just one big batch. You want to understand daily profit and monthly profit. Daily profit, obviously Daily Mentor can help with, but monthly profit, they need to be presenting some of it.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
So we went in where, we had that interesting chat of like, we need to reduce some costs, we need to change pricing, all of those kind of cool conversations. What were the main kind of things that we learned and we took away and we implemented?
So when I realized what a big chunk my agency was at the time, I was getting a reasonably good ROAS with that program, but it wasn't paying for its actual service for itself. So I had to pause that straight away. But that also meant I then had some capital to put into the ads that I was going to do myself, which you helped out with, which was really great to A, help with the structuring and B, help with the formats of the kind of things that people were actually going to see, not just all my rubbish that I was
I don't
throwing.
think it was rubbish. That's too harsh. It was still good. It just wasn't perfect.
Yeah. Thank you. It's that whole theory of throw the spaghetti at the wall. I was still in the spaghetti at the wall, and there is still some spaghetti at the wall, but with a bit more education now. So there was definitely that, which was great. And then there was learning how to make content and how to make repeatable content and make that repeatable content that people wanted to actually watch, which I had been struggling with for a long time. And you came in and definitely helped with that.
Yeah. What was the first reel we did? What was the process there?
So first reel we did was a Ride With Me series, and I was riding up to other cyclists and asking them questions, which is a really uncomfortable thing to do. And I think that that's the key point in the both your YouTube video of our story as well as my Instagram page of everyone's having the cringe factor when they watch me cringing so bad and saying, I don't know how to say hello without saying hello. Yeah. Like you're saying, stop saying hello. And I'm like, I can't. I have to say hello. And you could really feel that relatable moment, which I can understand. That's what everyone's looking for, to keep them watching to see what happens. Yeah. So that video, I had a look this morning. So we're at over 100,000 views combined. That's awesome. On that.
Is that your best video?
Yeah, by far. Yeah. By far, which is great.
Yeah. So I think you're averaging around 2,000 views a video. Yeah. Before that, I would say. Yeah. And you're putting a lot of work into them, right? Yeah. Like it wasn't like, that's why I interjected before. They weren't bad. They were what everyone else does as a single founder, that they're just like, hey, I'm just going to film my life here. And that's okay to an extent. What you need to do instead is just use AI with a massive prompt and just be like, what is the content series? Make sure it's new, make sure it's achievable with my level of production, quality, all of that kind of stuff. And that's where that Ride With Me format came. And yeah, obviously it got 100,000 views and worked really well, which I'm sure you'll scale up and turn into another series. And if that starts fatiguing, you just do the prompt again, just find the new content series, and maybe you'll find something even easier next time.
Yes. Yeah. And it was good also for, in the conversation with those cyclists, to find out what they wanted to know about more, that I could test those things. So then I get to ask more cyclist-centric questions for them. And then with runners, I'll be able to ask their own questions and hopefully be able to split that format.
Yeah. When we started working with you, what was the approximate revenue and where did we get to through running the process?
So when you showed up in February, just at the right time, we did just under 10,000 that month.
And that's mission critical.
That was mission critical. Yeah. And then content strategies came in place, talking to more people, building more things, increasing the ad account. By the time we'd finished that, we finished just under 30,000 by the time we'd gone through that process.
So about a 3x in revenue over 2 months.
Yeah. And the ROAS on our ads increased a lot because we used all that content strategy as part of our ads too.
Yeah. So I think it was about a 2.5 ROAS to about 9 ROAS in 2 months, which is pretty good. Plus you were running the ads, not paying an agency $5,000 to do it. So pretty successful. What's the one takeaway that you have from working quite directly with me during this process that you want other people to have that maybe can't work with me directly?
I tell anybody who asks me, and I do get a lot of messages now since that video has been out, which I'm happy to help people because people helped me, and I have found that to be true for a lot of people. But I would actually say Daily Mentor Academy has been excellent. There's really practical information, great supportive community, very knowledgeable mentors who there's no such thing as a stupid question. Fabulous. But your free content on YouTube, I still watch regularly in between other things. There's so much to learn for free, particularly in your channel, that I can see that anybody has the opportunity, if they have the time, to watch it and then implement it. Because first I would say there is plenty of free information, go and watch it. But the second thing that doesn't cost anything is implementing it, because learning isn't action.
Exactly. Yeah. Action creates information. And I think you're totally right. I think for the people that don't have a lot of money to invest, that's why I put out so much free content. I still want them to win. because I want them to get to a point. So that's why we'll continue to do it. And yeah, I think just absorb all information and then just get to it, Awesome. Well, I think you're going to absolutely crush it. I think your second product, if I was a betting man, I do love this product. I've talked about it a lot. I've got a feeling that the Snagit brand is going to be more than just this. And I think we'll look in 2-3 years and it's going to be a secondary product with all of the skills that you're developing that's going to get you to, the $10 million mark approximately. But I think that this one's going to go great. I think it's going to be over the next 12 months, there's going to be more learnings, but I think you'll finally scale that ad account, scale those socials, and yeah, wish you the luck.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. If you liked today's episode, make sure you go click the link below and check out Daily Mentor.